What's going on, YouTube folks? Another video on my MR2 Spider. This is very exciting for me because this is, I think, the 5th video I posted on this car, and I've got it all sorted, got all the repairs, maintenance, modifications finished, except for one thing, which I will be featuring in another video because it just isn't here yet. It's on the way from Germany. But we are about finished with this car, and it has been absolute joy. This was one of those gut purchases. I went with it, looked at 7 or 8 of them, and found this one finally after probably a year, and it was right, and I'm so happy with this car. I've put about 500 miles on it now, and yeah, so gonna do a little test drive in a minute. First, just want to go over all the improvements I made since the last video. This isn't everything, but this is just since the last video, and I'll do this pretty quick. Outside of the car, you'll notice this spoiler. This is the DAR spoiler, and I did a little short video on this earlier, maybe a week ago, just talked about some install tips. But great spoiler. Has the 3rd brake light wired up, and I think it just really completes the car and looks very much OEM. I got my custom plate. Midship MR2, for if you don't know, means midship runabout 2-seater. So that was what I wanted for this car, and did some mount inserts for the 2 front and back motor mount, which I won't show. I think I featured those in another video, but just finished those up also. Really improves the shifting feel. And then just did some little silly things. These little Toyota vintage caps. I found this neat emblem that I put on there. And also, this is a must. This is not cheap, but I had to get one of these. I just had to do that. That's, I think, the Japanese or maybe European emblem they put on there. So that kind of hides it from being a Toyota. Not that I'm ashamed of that at all, but I think it just kind of offsets it a little bit, makes it feel and look a little more exotic. And yeah, and then under the hood, or I guess the boot, I should say, or whatever we're calling this rear hood trunk, just a couple things that I've done here since the last video, one of which you're going to get to hear in just a moment. I did install Redline MT90 and a Synchro Max blend in the transmission, which I had read was really good for these cars. And this is the easiest car to do a transmission fluid change. You can fill it right there, drain it at the bottom, and then there's a middle plug to make sure you've got the right amount. But that did help with the shifts just a little bit. And it was a little low, so I'm glad I did that. I did put these vintage vinyls on, just thought that would be fun, and also painted the valve cover letters red there. And then the biggest thing here that I'll be featuring in this video is this MWR Monkey Wrench Racing intake, and I'll talk about that more in just a minute. And that's all for the mods. Again, I've got a few other things on order, and mainly my short shifter kit, and a few other things I've featured in other videos, which I'm not going to cover again. Let's go in here. Another neat thing I did just recently was this armrest, and great, huge improvement, man. You just kind of don't realize till your elbow's hitting this plastic, and then you realize, wow, this really needed an armrest. So this car is about sorted, and I've got it where I want it. Real quick discussion. I want to show you some dyno plots I pulled off of fellow that I've gotten to know a little bit. His name is Eric Seastead, and just look him up on YouTube. He has a great YouTube channel. Funny guy, doesn't take himself too seriously, and really just jumps in and does the work. So super impressive stuff. And he's far more into this platform than I am. He actually has a 2AR engine in his car. It's a beast. So go check him out. But I pulled this screenshot off of one of his newer videos because he did a really great dyno comparison in MR2 Spiders of a whole bunch of different engine options. And I'm just featuring 2 here because I wanted to, before I drive the car, I wanted to do a quick comparison of the 1ZZ versus the 2ZZ. Now, this graph is showing it in an MR2. So everything I'm saying is not related to the MR2, but this graph is showing it in the MR2. And a lot of folks feel like the 1ZZ engine is underpowered. It's just every review you read pretty much, I mean, like 90% of them, they say this car does not have enough power. And I disagree. It could use more power, absolutely. It's not in any way fast, but it has plenty of power for what it is, and I would never need more power in this car. You know, if the engine blew, I'd find a 2ZZ, but not necessary. And I'm going to show you why I think that is. Just a couple statistics real quick. I've owned both of these cars. This is the MR2 with the 1ZZ engine. The 0 to 60 time is 6.8. It weighs 2195 pounds. A Toyota Corolla XRS has a 2ZZ. 0 to 60 is 7.1 seconds, a little slower, and it comes in at 2670 pounds, which is about 500 pounds heavier. So obviously that's not in the same car, but just to say, having owned both cars, the MR2 definitely feels quicker with the inferior engine. Now, when you stick the 2ZZ in a MR2, and again, thanks to Eric for his graph here, this the green lines are the 1ZZ and the red lines are the 2ZZ. So as you see, the 1ZZ torque, it has more torque, a lot more torque down low at 2500 RPM, and more horsepower as well. Pretty fat difference there. And it's not till you get right up into here, around 5,000, 5,500 RPM-ish, that the 2ZZ, which is the red and the crimson, starts to make its improvement. So my point here is, obviously the 2ZZ is superior from here on, and you get lift kicks in right here, and you get all this crazy extra power, and it's amazing all the way to the 8,200 RPM red line. However, the 1ZZ is superior up to about 5,000, 5,500 RPM. Its red line being around 6,400, I think it is. 6,700 is what it looks like there. So with the 1ZZ and the MR2, you're getting more torque all the way up to, from here all the way up to about 5,000 RPM. Now, what does that mean? It's just that the bottom line is, and I've watched several review videos where people have verified this, the bottom line is the 1ZZ engine feels off the line until you get up there. It feels quicker. And so I say that to say, unless you're someone who is auto-crossing the car or just trying to sort of build the ultimate MR2 Spider, the 1ZZ engine for everyday driving and the kind of torque when you want it, like in everyday driving, you don't really want torque or care for torque at 6,000 RPM because you're driving, you know, to your job or the grocery store or whatever. So for everyday driving, I would suggest that the 1ZZ is fine. Now that's not popular, but some people have a little more money than brains. So if you just think about it, now again, I'm saying 2ZZ is superior overall, but let's do a test drive with the 1ZZ, which I'm very, very happy with. I will also say this intake, there's a lot of heated debate on is it sucking in cold air or warm air. It is close to that vent in the side of the car, but is it really helpful? And I've read so much about this before I bought it. Bottom line, guys, from what I've gathered, and this is just tons of looking at dynos, information, tests. It looks like most intakes will add 5 to 8 horsepower. Now there's the velocity stack, the bell housing, there's different ways to route the cold air. But what I have, MWR, Monkey Wrench, says it adds about, I think they said 5 to 8 horses. And I would suggest that you can feel that. I would also suggest that you can feel the lack of the 2 catalytic converters that have been gutted in most 1ZZ cars. I've driven them stock and I've driven them gutted, and then I've driven them gutted with the intake. And I would suggest I feel a difference. Now, again, is it just butt dyno? I've had a lot of cars. I just counted. I've had 39 cars. So I think I can be honest and say you definitely notice a little torque bump. But this car is absolutely magical. Also, let me add, my fuel light just came on. I'm at 365 miles. I've read that that's about 1.5 gallons left that I have, so this is getting about 30 miles to the gallon, which is amazing, especially because I've been doing plenty of hooning in my drive. Another thing about this intake is that what I've read a lot of folks say who've reviewed these types of intakes is that you just can't hear it on the camera, and that's the truth. It sounds amazing. This intake was the best decision. I put it in and I am so happy. Having owned a 2ZZ with a tune with the red line raised, I can honestly say that this makes the 1ZZ sound like a 2ZZ. Do another pull for you in second gear. Here we go. Once you get over about 5,000 RPM, it really wakes up. Now again, redline's only 65, so you don't have a lot of juice there, but it's plenty great. And I will say the anticipation of, hey, here comes that sound around 4,500, 5,000 RPM is a lovely feeling. Do one more here. I'm just spinning around in this parking lot. Okay, I'm gonna floor it. 1, 2, 3, here we go. You can hear the sound. I don't know if you can pick it, the camera's picking it up, but the sound around 5,500, it really sounds amazing. It sounds great all the way. The intake adds some great sound, but especially once you get up there at the second half of the RPM band. I'll do just one more pull. I'm not gonna do a first gear pull just because I'm holding this camera. I have a mount, but I didn't like the way it showed the frame. So here we go again. Wonderful power plant here. Just cannot say enough about this car in terms of the clutch, the transmission, the gear shift, just the way that this car feels, the balance, the mid-engine, and the center tack too. Let me close. Do one more pull. I'll give you first gear this time. Why not? All right. So having the center tack, this is the first car I've ever owned that has a center tack, and it is so nice having the tack right there. I kind of realize why race cars have that now. You kind of just don't pay attention to this anymore. It's all about this. But I will do another review. I'm actually going to kind of do like I've owned this car now 3 weeks and put about $1,000 into it. And my overwhelming thought, this review, I just want to talk about mods in the intake and just kind of give you an idea of what it sounds like. But I'll be doing another one because my overwhelming thought is I've owned this now. This is a car I could keep forever. It's that much fun. This is, and I'll speak about this next time, but my overall thought on this car is this is a great disposable feeder sports car. And by that, I mean, for just a little bit of money, you can have a lot of fun, and it is reliable. It's a Toyota. So I'll leave it at that. If you have comments on the MR2 Spider, I'd love to hear them, and I appreciate you watching. I hope today finds you well. Peace, and God bless you.